here's the book haul of most of the books that I recently got, and this is one of them. This one was recommended by Carolyn Reed. She's an exceptional illustrator and booktuber on YouTube. This book she recommended because she said it's just as good or even better than Shakespeare, and to me, I'm a big Shakespeare fan, so anybody who says something about Shakespeare or anything related, you know, I'm just like, I have to dive into it and see what's about. I haven't read it yet. This cover is absolutely beautiful. It is giving Phantom of the Opera vibes, and I'm all about that right now, as I saw the Phantom of the Opera twice and it was so stunning. It was at His Majesty's Theatre and it was breathtaking. I want to see it again. Tired of the glitter and glamour of St. Petersburg society, aristocratic dandy Eugene Onan retreats to the country estate he has recently inherited. With the arrival of the idealistic young poet Vladimir Lenski, he begins an unlikely friendship as the poet welcomes his urban addition to his small social circle and is happy to introduce Onan to his fiancée Olga with her family. Onan, his cold rejection of her love, brings about a tragedy that engulfs them all, unfolding them with dreamlike inevitability and dazzling energy. Pushkin's tragic poem is one of the great works of Russian literature. Oh my gosh, this is Russian literature. This is gonna be a fantastic read. I'm super excited. Right, so the next book, Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Enolia. Cover of this book is so pretty. It's so Victorian. I absolutely love. I have never read, like thoroughly read, a whole Anne of Green Gables book, but I tried to this spring and this summer, but I just didn't persevere and actually read the book. But this edition is so cute. You see the illustration. This one is Upstream. This is not a recent book haul. I never showed it in a video. But this is Upstream by Mary Oliver. Of course, I got this recommended by Jackedwards. So begins Upstream, a collection of essays in which revered poet Mary Oliver reflects on her willingness to lose herself within the beauty and mysteries of the natural world and the world of literature, emphasizing the significance of her childhood friend Walt Whitman, who inspired her to vanish into the world of her own writing. Oliver meditates on the forces that allowed her to create a life for herself out of work and love. Throughout this collection, Oliver positions not just herself upstream, but us as well, as she encourages us to all keep moving, to lose ourselves in the awe of the unknown, and to give power and time to the creative and whimsical urges that live within us. Next one is, so this book is not a recent buy. I bought it last January or something like that, but this is The Imitation of Christ by Thomas A. Kempis. One of the most influential and well-loved books of Christianity, The Imitation of Christ is a passionate celebration of God's love, mercy, and holiness, which has stimulated religious devotion for over 500 years. With great personal conviction and deep humanity, Thomas A. Kempis, 1380 to 1471, demonstrates the individual's reliance on God and on the words of God and the futility of a life without faith, as well as exploring ideas such as humility, compassion, patience, and tolerance. So excited to read this one. I love that it's written from 1380, the medieval times. So excited to read this. Alright, so the next book is The Line Life of Adults by Elena Ferrante. I was reading this a few months ago, but then I don't know, life just got in the way and then I didn't finish it. Really interested in writings of girlhood and adolescence. Giovanni's pretty face has changed. It's turning into a face of an ugly, spiteful adolescent. But is she seeing things as they really are? Where must she look to find her true reflection and a life she can claim as her own? Giovanni's search leads her to two kindred cities that fear and detest each other, the Naples of the heights, which assumes a mask of refinement, and the Naples of the depths, a place of excess and vulgarity. Adrift, she vacillates between the two cities, falling into one, then climbing back into another. This powerful new novel, set in a divided Naples by best-selling author Elena Ferrante, is a singular portrayal of the transition from childhood to adolescence to adulthood. And those are topics I'm really interested in reading about, and I want to read more books about it. So excited. The next book I've already mentioned in another video. This one is Victor Hugo, Notre de Paris. I'm trying to be French, as it was 1 year ago since I've been in Paris, and I really miss it. And this book reminds me of Paris, and so I'm super excited to read it. So the next book that I bought is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I've heard so much about this, and I was gonna read it last year, but I never got around to it. There was this bookshop in Stoke Newington that I really liked. Their display of autumnal reads. There was a lot of autumnal reads that I didn't get to last year because I was busy going to different book events at Waterstones and whatnot, and didn't really dedicate all my time to reading. But this time I really want to persevere. They also made a movie adaptation of this, but I'm gonna be one of those people who read the book first. Next one is The Vampire by John Polidori. I mentioned this one in a video already, so I don't need to read the synopsis, but I just love this book as it's also giving Phantom vibe. The next book that I got is Anne Radcliffe, The Mysteries of Udolpho. I think I said it right. She's like one of the Gothic pioneers of literature, and of course I wanted to read one of her books. She also made another one called The Italian, which I really want to get my hands on. Such is the state of mind of Anne Radcliffe's orphaned heroine, Emily St. Hubert. I can't read for shit. Such is the state of mind of Anne Radcliffe's orphaned heroine, Emily St. Hubert, who finds herself imprisoned in her evil guardian Count Montagny's gloomy medieval fortress. Terror is the order of the day inside the walls of Udolpho as Emily struggles against Montagny's schemes and the threat of her own psychological disintegration. A bestseller in its day and a potent influence on Sade, Poe, and other Gothic writers, the novel remains a profound and fascinating challenge to modern readers. Last but not least, we have Fyodor Dostoevsky, The Brothers Karamazov. I know I'm setting myself up for a big challenge with this book, but I am so into it. And this Penguin Editions Classic I really wanted because I don't know if you've noticed, I'm sure you guys have noticed, but the new Penguin editions, this white bar is thicker. It's like this and not like this. I like the skinny bar personally because it just looks more aesthetic on my shelf, because most of my editions are the older ones. I'm not a big fan of the new editions where the white bar is thick. I'm super excited to read this. I know it's like a big ambition to read the Karamazov because look how thick that is. Dostoevsky's dark masterpiece evokes a world where the lines between innocence and corruption, good and evil, blur, and everyone's faith in humanity is tested. And I love this bit of praise by Joyce Oates. There is no writer who better demonstrates the contradictions and fluctuations of the creative mind than Dostoevsky, and nowhere more astonishingly than the brothers Karamazov. Super excited to read this one. I have way too many books that I'm super excited to read. Take a shot for every time that I've said I'm so excited to read a book. Thank you so much for joining me today and enjoying books with me. If you don't know what to comment a pumpkin emoji because we are in the autumn season. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much. Have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are in the world. À bientôt. Au revoir.